you have FALSILOQUENCE, what do you have?
Eloquence? I don't know.
Do you think you have eloquence?
You've talked to me for the last 2 hours. What do you think?
No, not you.
With my 90s rap.
Welcome to CelinaRadio.com. I'm your host, Ron Lyons, and this is the voice of Celina, Texas. Welcome to CelinaRadio.com. And today we've got a very special guest in the sense that every single day in Celina, Texas, she is out there helping special needs children. Let me just tell you, after doing this interview, I understand now how much compassion, how much love, and how many resources it takes to put together a turnkey facility where you can basically make it like a one-stop shop. You don't have to go to 10 different specialists if you have a special needs child. You can get everything you need right here in Celina, Texas from today's guest, who happens to be Meagan Dungan. Now, she's got a place open just off the square over there, and it's just amazing. Everything from a sensory correct gym for children all the way on up to highly degreed and trained and certified specialists who take care of the special needs children in our community. Now, we're not only going to talk about Meagan's business, which is an amazing thing, we're going to find out a little bit more about Meagan herself. And she's a very interesting person, and we're also going to do something a little fun at the end of the episode, so you're not going to want to miss that. And guys, there's so much great stuff going on out there in the community right now. I know most of you are on the Best of Celina page on Facebook, and guess what? We just launched the bestofcelina.com. If you haven't gone there yet, check it out. It's good stuff. But for right now, guys, sit back, relax, and let's talk to Meagan Dungan. Guys, I'm here right now with somebody who does something amazing for our community. And when I say does something amazing for our community, I'm talking about for our kids and anybody that focuses their life and their goals and their mission on our kids is doing God's work. And that person happens to be Meagan Dungan. Meagan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Ron. Thank you for having me.
So we've had a little bit of technical difficulties. We've already gone through a headset and we've got everything hopefully working now. Hopefully we won't have any more troubles, but thank you so much for being here. And the first thing, I know the name of your business is, it's more than I can say. What's the name of the business?
It is Achieving Milestones Pediatric Therapy.
All right, awesome. And give me just the quick version of what you guys do. We're gonna deep dive on some of that stuff in a minute, but generally, what do you guys do over there?
We do collaborative therapy services for children with special needs or developmental delays. So we offer speech, occupational, physical, and feeding therapy all in one location.
So basically, it's kind of like multiple services all under one roof, because wouldn't somebody have to go to like a lot of different locations for some of those things? It's not typical that you could walk into one place and receive so much focus on all of these different things. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Most children that have special needs or developmental delays, they need multiple services, which means their parents are driving all over DFW to get the services that they need. And if you're not treating the whole child, you're only treating a very small part of what is actually needed.
You guys haven't been open for way too long yet.
No, I have actually been a speech pathologist for 13 years. I have a master's degree in speech pathology and a bachelor's in communication disorders. I specialize in high-risk infant feeding and AAC communication devices, but I just opened my practice here in Celina 2 years ago.
Tell me about the feeding thing. What is that?
Yeah, so I actually specialize in high-risk feeding, which means infants that maybe they come home from the hospital on a G tube or a feeding tube, or they're having difficulties with breastfeeding or bottle feeding. I help moms, and that is truly one of my biggest passions, is working with moms, helping moms, because feeding is something we all have to do. It's something that we need to survive in our daily lives, and it's something that is critical to the quality of life for any child.
So you've got all these specialties, you've got a master's degree in order to help you do that, and somehow God pulled all of these things together and got you to Celina, Texas. So how long have you guys been living in Celina?
We've been living here for 4 years.
Okay, so you've got the background, you've got the passion for it. God brings you to Celina, Texas, and now you've got your place open. Where is the new location for people who may not have driven by it yet? Where's your place at now?
We are right off of the square in downtown. We're at 200 North New Mexico, right past the old middle school in Celina.
Okay, and sometimes I see like you've got, I guess it's like a children's gym or something like that over there. You've got this thing, and I see that you can open it up from time to time for kids to come in and play and stuff. But I understand that it's just not a typical gym. You're not doing a daycare over there. That's not what that is, correct?
Yeah, so we actually had our gym built out for our occupational and physical therapists specifically. It is a sensory motor gym that was specifically designed for children with special needs. And what we like to do is open it up on Fridays for really any children within the community to be able to utilize, but specifically for children that maybe they aren't able to go to places like Urban Air or Jump World or big, large facilities, because our gym is truly sensory friendly and allows any child on any ability level to be able to participate and play.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing, and I love that. So give me an idea right now. So like a typical client of yours, what kind of situation would a child present with that might become a good client of yours?
So we see everything from children that maybe they just have a developmental delay. Maybe it's an infant that is not yet crawling and parents are struggling with meeting those milestones and they need help from a physical therapist. Or a child is having fine motor delays and a parent needs help with their child working on handwriting. A lot of what we see is speech delays for toddlers or a little bit older, especially our children that have come out of the COVID world. It really impacted our children's development as far as speech development and social skills were concerned. And we see everything from those typical developmental delays that we are helping to close those gaps, all the way up to children maybe that have severe difficulties and are medically fragile or have a medical diagnosis of autism and need a variety of services all in one location.
Wow, absolutely fantastic. Is there some sort of a consultation, or how does the process start for all of that?
So whenever our parents contact us, we initially schedule an evaluation with our therapist. Our therapists are absolutely incredible. They sit down, they meet with the parent, they go over what the parent's concerns are, and they develop a treatment plan that's truly individualized to the child. We also receive referrals from local doctors, the new hospitals that are coming up to North Dallas. We're starting to see referrals from those sources. And we actually got a call yesterday from Children's Hospital and said, you are the only facility that is offering services this far north, and we need services in this area for our patients.
As far as I know, there may be other similar services and things out there, but there's nothing quite as unique as what you're doing. So is there a pretty big demand and need for this right now?
Yeah, so currently we are the only collaborative clinic in this area that is offering all therapy services in one location. And the area, as we both know, is growing significantly in Celina. We've got more and more families that are moving to the area that may have children with special needs. And two of the things that parents are always going to be looking for if they have a child with special needs is, what are the services offered in the school district and what private services can I get within the community without having to travel outside of my city?
Having kind of all under one roof services that are available has got to help not only the child with whatever the situation is, but it makes just life easier on the parent too, because they don't have to drive down to Plano. They don't have to go over to McKinney. They can go right here to Celina, Texas, and get what they need right here. So did you really feel like a calling on your life to bring these services to Celina, or how did you guys figure out that, hey, Celina is where we need to be?
I have been in the therapy world for 13 years. I have always seen flaws in the different areas that I worked in, whether it be home health or the school districts. And I really felt a calling to meet those needs, meet those parents' needs. I see how stressful and difficult it can be on these parents when they have doctor's appointments and multiple therapies at different facilities. And I truly wanted a place where parents could come in and feel hope and feel like they are being supported and have a collaborative practice where the therapists work together to meet the needs of the child. We designed our parent waiting area to be comfortable. We play worship music in there to hopefully help them feel that peace. And that's what we want them to leave with, is a peace and a hope.
I love it. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. And as you know, I'm a big fan of things that I feel like God is very involved in. And you and I have talked a little bit, and certainly you're a believer. Do you feel like God has led your life to this point? Like, is he utilizing you to impact and bring just a difference into all of these lives?
So I laugh because I had never heard of Celina before. And we were actually Hurricane Harvey evacuees. We were supposed to close on a house a week after Harvey hit, and it flooded 8 feet. And we didn't know where we were going next. It felt like we were nomads with absolutely no agenda, but God knew exactly where we were supposed to be. We evacuated to the North Dallas area. We started researching communities and driving through communities. We wanted a place that was conservative, that was still that small town feel that we wanted to raise our kids in. We wanted a Christian-based area where we felt like that prayer was still involved in our schools, that we could still be connected in the community with believers. It was a huge part of why we chose Celina, and I'm so glad we did, because God has just blessed us, and I can't imagine now living anywhere else, but he truly had to pave that road for us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
And I can say with all certainty that in your what you do and in the time that you're here serving this community, you're certainly going to touch a lot of lives. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for what you do. I'm grateful that God was able to bring you here. But we want to talk a little bit more. I understand a little bit. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on what you do, because it's still very complex to me. But I know it's amazing work, and that's what matters. And being a real asset to the community and helping so many people. Anytime you can reach out and improve someone else's life, you're doing something amazing. So I know you're doing that. But I want to talk a little bit about you, your family, how you got here and things like that. So can we talk a little bit about some of that?
Sure.
Absolutely. So right now, I know you're married.
Yes.
And I know at least one child that you have. So tell me about your family. I think you may have another child.
Yes.
Okay,
so
tell me about that.
I've been married for 16 years. I actually got married when I was 18 years old. Don't recommend it. Way too young. But I did. Nobody thought we would make it. And here we are 16 years later. My husband's absolutely incredible. He has supported me. I don't know anybody else that would have put up with all the things that I have put us through for the last 2 years and all my crazy, wild dreams that I am chasing. And his name is Chase. And he has just supported me all along the way. We have two beautiful children. Kaylee is definitely my wild child. She goes to Lichens. She's 10. She's in 5th grade. She keeps me on my toes. There was actually a meme the other day that said something about arguing with a mini version of yourself. That's exactly how I feel.
That was fitting, huh?
That was so fitting.
I love it.
Constantly. And then my son just started his freshman year at the high school. He is very sweet. He's a musician, very, very talented, plays every instrument by ear. And sings in a Paramore band right now.
Wow.
So he's incredibly talented and keeps me running. I'm a mom taxi service most days.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that a little bit, but what makes Celina so amazing to you? Like, what do you love about Celina?
I love the community. I love the connections that you can make here. There's not a lot of cities that you can show up at a restaurant in downtown and just see people that you know. And it didn't take very long for us to feel like we were already meeting people and new people, and they recognized us. And it felt like pretty quickly we were a part of the family. And that was amazing for me, that I can walk into a grocery store and I see someone that I know.
How do you feel about the growth?
Yeah, I think there is good and bad with it. Obviously, as a business owner, it's great to have the growth and see that growth. But I think that I also want to make sure that the values are still there for why we came here in the first place. And like I said, those conservative values and our kids still praying at the football games, and those are things that are so important. Those traditions are so important for me and my family, and it really is why we chose Celina in the first place. I was raised in a small town, Orangefield, and I knew everyone in my community. You show up at the gas station, you're going to see somebody. I've also always been a Bobcat. I was the Orangefield Bobcats my entire life.
So you've never stopped being a Bobcat. You
That's
started
right.
out, but it was a different city. But ironically, Bobcats, and now you're in Celina, and you're still a Bobcat.
That's right.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. So I have to ask, what were their colors?
Orange and white.
Wow.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? So tell me, where is Orangefield?
Orangefield is this tiny little town in southeast Texas. It's south of Houston, south of Beaumont. Almost on the border of Lake Charles, Louisiana, pretty close to Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is where my dad's side of the family lived. And very, very close to the Gulf. We're just this tiny little backwoods city.
That's awesome. I love it. And so you guys end up here. You've been a Bobcat forever, and you love this city. You understand kind of what's going on here, but like you said, you want to hold on to those values and stuff like that. That's critical. And one of the things that I personally think, and I'm kind of notorious for saying this, but I think our downtown is kind of an anchor to our history and our traditions. As long as we have this amazing little square right here, I think the city can grow out everywhere else, and we're still going to have this. Like, this is going to be what holds on to a lot of our past. Would you agree with that? Do you love the square right here?
Absolutely. So it was actually a square event that my husband and I decided that this was where we wanted to be. Our kids were running around with their friends and playing with their friends. One thing that is very different about my town is that we didn't live in a very safe area for our children. And I was just amazed that all these kids were running around. It was safe. We didn't have to worry. My husband and I could sit at the winery and have a drink, and the kids could run around and play and come in and check in with us. And that was just mind-blowing to us and incredible.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, this is that community, and we've got nothing but an amazing future ahead of us here. But give me an idea, like what kind of staff would you have in your facility? Like, is it therapists? What kind of people do you have working there?
Yeah, so we have therapists. We have occupational therapists. One of our occupational therapists actually has a doctorate, and we have other therapists that have master's degrees. We have speech therapists that have master's degrees, and physical therapy, which we just launched our physical therapy program and are growing that as well. So everybody is licensed therapists that's working in our practice. I'm very picky about who I bring into my practice, and I always want the best for our community and for the practice that I'm building. And so I meet with every single person. I don't know that that will ever go away. I want to make sure that I'm meeting those people, that they have the experience, that they have their personality, that they have the culture that we're looking for. Those are all things that are really, really important when I'm looking to bring on new staff.
And we're going to deep dive just a little bit into who Meagan Dungan is as a person. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you have no idea what I'm about to ask you. So
no, I don't.
They're not bad questions. I do have something kind of fun that we're going to do in a minute, but I'm just curious, if I walked out right now, first of all, what kind of car do you have?
I drive a white Jeep, and I absolutely love my Jeep.
So you're a Jeep girl. If I sit down in your Jeep and I turn on the radio, what am I going to hear?
One of two things, either worship music or 90s rap.
Wow. Okay. 90s rap. All right. Did you know that we did the Best of Celina, that we actually did a 90s retro networking event? Did you know that?
I did, and I missed it.
Oh my goodness. It was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun. Do you guys do any of the events? Like, do you do the Christmas on the Square? Do you do the wine crawl? Do you guys participate in any of that stuff?
Yeah, we participate both as a family in all of the events, but we've also participated as a company. We did Beware the Square and passed out. We brought 1,000 pieces of candy.
Wow.
Went through that. So we went and bought out Hey Sugar, bought all of their candy and started giving that candy away, just figuring we were giving back to the community anyway. And then we are planning on doing the Oktoberfest, working closely with Melissa Cromwell to get all of that going for the kids areas and making sure that it's a really great event for our kids.
Very, very good. So I love all the stuff that we do on the Square down here, and it gives you kind of that small town feel, and you still know a lot of people. And one of the things that we have is we've started kind of expanding a little bit. We've got some restaurants down here. They're a lot of fun. More coming, say like over on Preston Road down at Frontier. And I'm just curious, where does Meagan Dungan like to eat in Celina, Texas? I'm not asking you to pick favorites. I'm just saying, like, what's one of your go-to places?
I'll say I probably have 3 weekly go-to places.
Okay, let's hear them.
Okay, so Nutrition Connection is where I get all of my morning teas.
Nice.
That's my energy boost for the day. Toasted Walnut is where I do a lot of meetings, where I like to meet people for lunch. Their booths are comfortable. Like to get their hot cheese, which is amazing. Actually, Joey today talked me into trying the flatbread and insisted on it. He brought me flatbread to try with the cheese, and it was incredible. And then Granny's Bakery. Like, you just cannot go wrong with Granny's Bakery. If you have not had a cheesecake in a cup, you are missing out on one of life's great pleasures.
So that's something I have not had before. I didn't know there was such a thing. So at Granny's Bakery, you can go in there and get a cheesecake in a cup. Is that correct?
That is correct. Michaela is a genius of putting that in a jar, and you can drive while you're eating your cheesecake. That is the best thing ever.
That's so awesome. That's amazing. That is absolutely incredible. So you came from Southeast Texas in this little town, and where you were a Bobcat and stuff. And when you were in high school, like, what kind of group did you hang out with? Would you say that, I was more of like the athletic kids, or I was the this or the that? What group did you mostly associate with when you were in high school?
I was pretty much a nerd. I studied and read. I still to this day read a significant amount of books. Like, I can't tell you how many books I've read. I actually graduated high school a year early with 12 college hours.
Wow. No wonder you're talking on a level so much higher than me. You just like left me behind. That's why you graduated in the 11th grade. That's amazing.
I did. I had a boyfriend. So my time was split between studying and boyfriend. And that was really my whole world.
Do you have any things? I know you work super, super hard. I see you out there all the time. You're constantly, doing, building this business and this amazing community and everything, but you've got to have something besides reading books that's something fun to you. So what else do you do for fun?
My happy place is the beach. If I could be at the beach every other month, that's where I would be. I also love to write. I'm playing with the idea of writing a few books.
Nice.
I truly love reading. That is what I do for fun, but I also love connecting with people and meeting people. And I do that pretty often, not just for the networking side, but I enjoy being around people and meeting new people.
That is fantastic. So there's something that I'm driving towards here. And no, I didn't talk to your husband ahead of time. Actually, something that you said earlier, and I'm just driving towards that. I'm trying to get you to admit to something that you do in your free time to let your mind kind of unwind. You don't want to say it, do you?
My trash TV.
Yes, ma'am. Your trash TV.
I like to watch my trash drama TV at the end of the day.
That is fantastic. So what is that exactly? Like, I don't even know what that is. Is that like, what is that, Jerry Springer stuff? Or what is that?
All the drama. The Bachelor, The Bachelorette.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes. The trashy stuff.
That stuff. Now I know what it is. Okay, all right, I got you. So that's your like escape, basically. Like we all have a lot of drama in our own life. We've got a lot of stress. Everybody has the same. We're all carrying around a certain amount of that sort of thing. But isn't that necessary to don't we need to have that moment to unplug sometimes? Isn't that important?
It is. I feel like I'm constantly thinking about how I meet other people's needs, from my employees to my kids to my husband to other people in the community. And I need time at the end of the day to just stop my wheels turning. And a lot of times that's watching something that doesn't really matter, that has no effect on my life, is other people's drama. And that's how I unwind.
I love it. And you said you're a very avid reader. So can you recommend a book for me?
The last one that I just read was Never Split the Difference. That's one I would definitely recommend. Very good.
Nice.
And if you're looking for just an easy read, something that you don't have to think a whole lot about, any of Colleen Hoover's books are amazing.
Oh, wow. Awesome. What do you see right now as the city is growing, as Celina's growing, and you're bringing your business in here and all of that stuff? What are one of the biggest challenges that somebody starting a business in Celina faces? Like, what are one of the things that you've seen as like, wow, this is tough? What is it that you would say?
I think breaking into the community, understanding that, things that you need to join and be a part of. I have lunch and coffee and conversations with a lot of people that are considering bringing their businesses to the Celina area, just referral sources and people that I collaborate with. I always tell them to join the chamber, show up to events, show your face, be a part of the community. You can't just have a business here and expect it to be successful. You really have to become part of Celina to be successful.
So I have something that's kind of fun, and what it is I'm going to give you a word, and I'll promise you right now, I'm not going to pronounce these words properly. There's not a chance I'm going to say them right. So I'm probably going to have about 27 people text me or write in through the website and say, hey, you didn't say that right. I know from the get-go.
I'm a speech therapist. I can help you out with that.
Okay, you can help me with that. And what I want you to do is when I say this, if you know the actual definition, say the actual definition. If you don't, guess what you have to do? You have to make something up.
Okay.
And you have to make it sound believable, like it's a fact. Okay, you think you can do that?
I think I can take a shot at it.
Okay, let's do it. The first word is bibble. I can't even say that one with a straight face. Bibble. Do you know what a bibble is?
A Bible is a backwoods Bible that we have condensed so that we can understand. It's the newest translation of the Bible.
The backwoods version.
Yes.
I like it. A Bible is actually to drink often, to eat and or drink noisily. But that's okay. And I know I'm going to mess this up. I don't know if it's Dragoman or Dragoman, but what is that? Whichever version of it is, what is that? You can enlighten me on what a Dragoman or a Dragoman is.
I hear dragon, I hear man, I don't know. It's the angry man that comes home at the end of the day from a long day of work and turns into the dragon man.
Oh, I like it. So however you say it, Dragoman is an interpreter or professional guide for travelers. I would have never got that in the world. How about FALSILOQUENCE? I almost probably said that properly. FALSILOQUENCE. If you have FALSILOQUENCE, what do you have?
Eloquence? I don't know.
You think you have eloquence?
You've talked to me for the last 2 hours. What do you think?
No, not you.
With my 90s rap.
No, a person with FALSILOQUENCE. You think maybe they're eloquent.
I can't talk now.
Hold on. I know a great place you can go to help you with that. It's right over there on the just off the square down there a little bit. It's perfect. And she was on my show, and she can help you with that. Now, I knew this place to be a store back in like a former life, but I didn't know it was a real thing. What is a gadzook?
Is it one of those whistle things that you blow in?
That's a good. I like that. Exactly. I like that. It means and I don't even know how it's a mild oath. What's a mild oath? Like, to me, it's an oath. So what's a mild oath? Like, well, it wasn't a really bold oath. It was a mild oath. I don't even know what that means.
That's something that your husband says randomly, and then he's like, "Oh wait, never mind."
I see. Well, I may be guilty of some of that at some point.
Are you a Friends fan?
No.
Okay. Well, Friends is by far my favorite TV show. I've probably seen it about 1,000 times. Right. And Joey gets this vocabulary toilet paper. And so each day he gets a new vocabulary word that he learns and tries to put into his vocabulary.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what this makes me think of. You know what?
And that's probably about the value of this, too. This is probably about the value of a roll of toilet paper right now. But Meagan, you have been fantastic. Thank you, and God bless you for everything that you're doing for this town, for the city. We're very, very grateful to have you here. I know you're doing miracles over there. You're doing God's work. You are absolutely going to touch many, many lives. I am going to ask you the next time you come on, you're going to have to do a 90s rap song.
All right, deal.
All right, very good. Guys, that is Meagan Dungan. All right, guys, what did you think about Meagan Dungan? I mean, she's out there doing the most amazing things, and she has invested so much of herself into this community, into her business, and ultimately into the future of our children. And I'm just blown away by it. I think it's absolutely amazing. And let me just tell you right now, if you should ever need services, treatment, therapies, anything like that for a special needs child, I would 100% recommend that you go to Meagan Dungan, Achieving Milestones Pediatric Therapy. It's an amazing place. She's an amazing person, and she is a blessing to our community right here in Celina, Texas. So guys, thank you so very much for that. Meagan, thank you for coming on the show. You are amazing, and you've got an incredibly bright future ahead of you. And guess what? We all benefit from the hard work that you're doing right here in Celina, Texas. Now, guys, if if you have not been to the Best of Celina group on Facebook, and yes, it's a group, there's a page as well, but the group is where it's all at. That's where so many things are taking place. You can introduce yourself, your family, you can brag about your kids, you can sell an item, you can promote your business, you can do so much on there. And we have one rule, and it's the coolest rule of all time, and that is be nice. That's it, just be nice. It should just come naturally to us. But unfortunately, it's not. There's a lot of pages out there right now in Celina, and they are not representative of who we are as a community. Sometimes they show the darkest, ugliest side of our nature. And there's a lot of fighting, and there's a lot of bitterness, and it's just, that's not Celina, guys. And so, you know what? If you're sick and tired of that, hop on over to the Best of Celina and check it out. And we have an adjunct page that goes with that. And when I say page, I mean just a regular Facebook page. And that's where all the behind-the-scenes things are for the Best of Celina group. And then we have now launched the bestofcelina.com. And you want to talk about a resource for the community, let me tell you, baby, that thing is going to have every single thing on it. Everything from reviews to photography from all around the city to people who write articles about special events and things that have happened. It's just going to be a great place of celebration and of community. So you're going to want to check that out, thebestofcelina.com. And guys, we've got some more special guests coming on. We've got some fantastic shows coming up, so I know you're going to love them. But guess what? Today we're going to wrap this up. You know I'm going to have another song after this, so hang around for it. But until the next episode, guys, as I always say, stay safe and God bless.